At the beginning of the film, we observe the lives of two completely different people. Young 23-year-old David is trying to develop in painting in order to become an artist. At the same time, 37-year-old Rafi is coping with a crisis after a divorce. The woman visits her psychiatrist named Lisa. Rafi reveals that today she finally signed the divorce papers. The woman is having a very hard time. Besides, it was at this point that she realized she would like to have a child. Lisa believes that her client didn't want a child in the marriage because she subconsciously realized that her husband wouldn't be a good father. The psychiatrist tries to inspire Rafi and show her that a world of exciting possibilities is now open to her again. Meanwhile, David is sitting pensively in front of his canvas when he suddenly receives a phone call from a friend. Morris says that another girl has refused to go on a second date after her first date with him. David goes with the friend and asks what he manages to do with his girlfriends. Morris takes revenge on the girl who rejected him and stains her face with cake. Two tough guys run out of the house to defend their friend. David and his mate try to get away as soon as possible. In the evening, the guy goes to the cinema, where he is met by an acquaintance. The friend introduces his companions, Catherine and Rafi, to David. The guy goes to get tickets with his girlfriend Michelle, but in the hall, he often looks at Rafi. In the toilet, David again encounters a woman who warns him that a couple has already locked themselves in the stall, so there is no way to get in. After the cinema, the guy goes to a cafe with Michelle and his friend. Saying goodbye to Rafi, David shakes her hand for a long time and looks into her eyes. The thought of a beautiful woman doesn't let David go for a long time. At home, he even decides to give himself a little workout to distract himself. However, this doesn't help, and then David calls a woman. But at the decisive moment, he just keeps silent and hangs up. The guy regains his strength and calls Rafi back. David admits that he is very nervous, after which he invites the woman to dinner. Rafi accepted his offer with a smile. An elated David goes to the kitchen to treat himself to his grandmother's sandwiches. The next day, the guy picks up Rafi and takes her to a small restaurant. The couple has a great time and enjoys each other's company. Rafi decides to ask the guy how old he is. The woman is shocked by the age difference, but David asks her not to worry. After dinner, the guy offers Rafi some privacy in a small garden. The woman says that despite the age difference, she really likes David. Afterwards, she and the guy kiss. At the meeting, Rafi tells about the incident to her psychiatrist, but says that her suitor was not 23, but 27 years old. Lisa doesn't see anything terrible in what happened, but rather on the contrary, she believes that such an adventure can show her client new possibilities. David also tells about his meeting to his mom, who wonders if her son's chosen one is Jewish. After the conversation, the guy goes to a family dinner. His mom, the same Lisa who works as a psychiatrist, asks David to help lay the table. After the meal, the woman reminds him again that her son should marry a Jewish woman. David promises that he will, but says that right now, he wants to try new things and enjoy life. In addition, the guy lies that the woman he is dating is 27 years old. However, even this shocks Lisa. Soon, Rafi catches a cold and the guy decides to support her. David buys hot broth for the woman and visits her in her flat. The guy, as an artist, likes a painting that Rafi has bought herself. After a bite to eat, David kisses the woman. Rafi asks the guy to give her his jumper. The woman is going on a business trip and wants to take it with her as a reminder. David tells a friend that he is starting to fall in love with Rafi. Lisa discusses with her husband what is happening with their son and sighs that she doesn't know what they should do. Soon, Rafi returns from his trip. Right in the restaurant, Rafi kisses a guy and looks at him meaningfully. David goes with the woman to her home, where they are alone together. During another meeting with the psychiatrist, Rafi reveals that her boyfriend is actually only 23 years old, and he is into drawing, although his family doesn't approve. Lisa is strangely silent, but tries to pull herself together. The woman ends the meeting early to calm herself down. Lisa realizes that Rafi is dating her son. Soon, the woman visits her supervisor to find out what she should do next. Lisa is advised to continue with the patient's treatment. However, the woman admits that she is shocked that her son is dating Rafi. Meanwhile, David arranges a date for his lover. Rafi visits the guy's studio, where he creates a huge reproduction of a painting that stands in her home. A woman picks David up after a basketball game and then invites him back to her place to make love. At the meeting with Lisa, the woman shares very racy details of what is going on between her and David. The psychiatrist struggles to hold on for dear life after hearing such information about his own son. Rafi worries what such a relationship can lead to. The woman realizes that David is still too young, but his inexperience, his desire to care and meet all her needs simply fascinates her. Rafi admits that she has never received so much attention and support from a man before. Lisa advises her client not to break off the relationship and just observe how their relationship develops. David visits his beloved lady at work and is slightly rude to her boss. At first, Rafi is angry with the guy, but then forgives him and invites him to her place. The woman is curious to know what David used to do, how he spent his evenings. The guy offers to take Rafi a small guided tour, and she gladly agrees. The woman gets to a small party where young people gather. After the party, Rafi insists that she wants to see where the guy lives. After a lot of persuasion, David still gives in. After learning that the boy's flatmates are actually his grandparents, Rafi laughs good-naturedly. As the woman goes to the bathroom, David promptly cleans up everything unnecessary in his room. Rafi closes the door behind her and lies down on the bed. The woman notices that all of David's paintings are closed or unfolded. Rafi says it's as if the guy thinks his art is a sin, but that's completely untrue. After looking at the paintings, the woman calls them amazing. Rafi says that the guy shouldn't be ashamed of his art, but on the contrary. The woman asks him to put all doubts aside and try to use painting to earn a living. Soon, David packs his things and tells his mother he will live somewhere else. Lisa doesn't take it seriously and takes in her favorite client. Rafi reveals that she and her boyfriend have decided to move in together. Lisa is shocked by this news and reminds Rafi that she will not be able to fulfill all her needs with such a young partner, as she said at the last meeting. However, it turns out that the woman has had time to reconsider her views. She is ready to give David a chance. After the couple move in together, their relationship only grows stronger. Rafi suggests going on holiday to her friend's house for the weekend. David has a great time and feels good. However, his friend talks to Rafi and raises on one important issue, because the woman has been thinking about a child for a long time, but such a young guy is hardly ready to start a family. During a work exhibition, Rafi tells the gallery owner about the guy's paintings. One day, Rafi returns home and notices a terrible mess. The woman sees that David has spent the whole day in front of the TV and has scattered things everywhere. Rafi shares with her friend that the guy is acting like a child and also keeps talking about buying some kind of Nintendo. The girl advises Rafi not to fulfill David's wish, otherwise she will lose the guy who plays all the time. The woman still decides not to follow her friend's advice. As a result, David spends almost all his time playing the console. Once in a furniture shop, Lisa notices her son with Rafi, but the latter doesn't look very happy. During another meeting, Rafi shares her thoughts. A woman says that she used to be with a man who didn't love her. Now she is loved, however the one who does is not always a man. Lisa says that they will have to interrupt their work, as David is her son. The psychiatrist hoped that this would only be a temporary infatuation. However, Rafi continues her relationship with her boyfriend and only discusses them in sessions. Returning home, the woman tells David about everything. A couple of days later, David sees his friend and says that because of the quarrel with Lisa, his beloved lady has become simply unbearable. The guy invites Morris to his place while Rafi is not at home because she doesn't like it when someone invades her living space. However, the woman decides to return early from work. David locks his friend in the wardrobe, where he sneezes because of his fur, which gives away his presence. Rafi is angry that her partner is acting like a preschooler. The guy parries and says that since moving in, Rafi has been pushing him around. After that, David leaves, and soon they break up. The owner of the gallery likes the guy's paintings and pays money for them. He goes to parties, and after one of them spends the night with a beautiful girl. Soon the guy runs into Rafi in a shop. They cannot contain their mutual attraction and soon make up. David asks his mom to invite them to dinner. Lisa agrees and hugs Rafi, who says she missed her very much. After dinner, the women talk and try to understand each other. Soon, Rafi learns some shocking news. A red-headed model mentions that she recently spent the night with a guy who exhibits his paintings. Rafi realizes that it's David and goes to see him. Upon learning that the model wasn't lying, the woman cries and leaves. David is sad and goes to see his friend. Morris advises him to call Rafi and apologize to her. However, David disagrees, because when he spent the night with the model, they were not in a relationship. Morris explains that the woman was offended that he chose a younger girl over her. David turns to his mother for advice. Lisa says that relationships are as much about love as they are about work. David reconciles with the woman and says he is ready to give her a baby. However, Rafi realizes that this is not for the guy. He has just started living. The woman proposes to finally break up. Several months pass. David successfully sells paintings and discusses it with a friend. The guy walks into a small cafe and sees Rafi there. The woman smiles at him affably, and David remembers their relationship. The guy smiles back, after which he leaves. This is the end of the film. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this film, and see you in new videos.